not to be in power,
Right.
but to
It's
hold
not.
it.
Yeah.
All right. So I focus on judges. All right. I focus on judges and making sure that we have great people that are judges, because something happens, you go before a judge, right?
Yeah.
These who determine the fate of the people in our communities.
Facts.
So
Judicial reform.
yeah, absolutely. So
That's one
I
of
try to
your
make sure-
passions.
Yeah, I try to make sure that we elect great judges who we know won't, like, for instance, I give an example. I had a client back in 2018. Her name was Pamela Cousins. She ran for judge. I ran her campaign, got her elected, but she got in and was a terrible judge. All right.
She got fired.
She didn't get fired. Well, technically, so 4 years later, all right, 2022 come around. No, that was this election. So yeah, because the new election come around, she's running for re-election. I didn't support her.
Judges got to run for re-election?
Yeah.
Wait, judges are elected?
They're elected. Yeah.
brother. That's the game, right? You got appointments
On a
and
local
you get
level,
elected,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
now
didn't know
the
that.
federal
I didn't
judges
know
are
that.
appointed,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
federal judges
And
are
that's why they
appointed.
go through the Senate for confirmation.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah,
they going to
yeah.
build
Through the public,
courts
local-
for Mitch McConnell
Yeah.
because he confirmed all them judges or something after holding up Obama.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
I know the
exactly.
game.
Yep. But the local judges, like your state judges,
Uh-huh.
those are elected. They're all elected. But those are the ones that you're likely to go before you go
Facts.
before a federal judge, right? So that's kind of where my passion is again, making sure that we elect good judges, because nobody really think about judges, right? We just go before them, but
Facts.
nobody think about, like right now in Jefferson County, where I'm from, all of the judges there, probably like 95% of the judges are all black. And they're all female too. Well, most of them are female. But it does make a difference, because now, when we have representation for people that look like us, that, so now, like one of my friends, she was a judge. She actually got kicked off the bench because she refused to to sentence a black dude to the death penalty. So the law said that she had to put him, to the death penalty, but she refused to do it. And
So she stood on business.
She did, yeah. And as a result, she was they filed ethics charges against her and everything. And the commission ended up voting for her to no longer be on the bench, so she's no longer a judge. But that's the type
So it's
of
politics even on that.
My guy, listen, you got to understand, this is something I locked in about 4 or 5 years ago, too, on the judges, right? Like, the reason why the Republican side, or any, and me, in reality, I'm right. Whatever is right, I go with. We can talk about sides later, right? But the Republicans are more ahead, right? Because it's a financial institution instead of diversity institution, right? So when you do that, you're a little bit ahead. So they lock in on judges, because if I set these precedents right here, I can do crazy plays. It could be a town of 60 people, right? Like I say, I could rule on a ruling there that could be ridiculous to somewhere that's 60,000 people. But since it's been said that the president's way over here in, buttfuck Georgia, I can use that as a precedent of why you're guilty here. And knowing that judge, you know what I'm saying, was placed there in that local level, right? So it's such a game of life. That's why I changed it, right? Because laws are your reality. You can't think about doing nothing in this world without considering the law, because you're going to take away your freedom if not, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the nature of of the government, as they say, or of the law, right? Is to control the humanity in a societal way. So that's something. Those type of things I think about when you get in, politics, right? Like, not just, oh man, I want to, like, bro, this is really your reality. Like, this ain't just writing down on a piece of paper. This is your everyday. The reason why that stop sign is stopping or so many feet away is because it's an ordinance that somebody has set, you know what I'm saying, and voted on in an area based on the person that was elected by your district. You see what I'm saying? Like, by your people. Y'all choose these people. So a lot of times we're so, I don't
and the lack of people not participating.
The
in
lack
process.
of knowledge from what it sounds like.
Yeah. So when people don't vote, then that's when you just get anything.
See, and I think
So
they
when
also
people say-
glorify the like the federal positions and like the president, and they don't not
Which is
even in the
electoral.
schools, not even in the schools. I don't really think they let us know that the power is at this local level that you
Yeah.
keep going back to.
Yeah.
They not really teaching that
They
don't
do
teach
structure.
local-
though. They teach it, brother.
They teaching us that
They
judges
teach
is
it, but
elected.
they don't. The teacher that's teaching it, guess who they give it to? The baseball coach, the basketball coach.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do that, and that's the nature of the construct of the curriculums. Because you're not tested on that stuff on a statewide level now, are you?
No, that's what I'm
Why?
saying. like,
Right. You know what I'm saying? So
you
that's
would
why they
think
study
that
basketball.
the public school system would be teaching like these civics class like earlier, more in depth, and really explaining how to bring about change or how to enter into the market, how to do it. Like I feel
Yeah,
like they gatekeep
it
that
also comes
information
down
unless
to
you
what-
go down that like specific rabbit hole, getting in debate club and
All right, so
Like
let's
they-
talk about that, right? So I was on a debate team in high school. I actually came in first place out of 350 students that was in the debate team my junior year of high school. But it comes down to what we are interested in, right? They did teach us civics. I remember
Yeah.
almost everything that I was
That's why
taught
I
in
said the type
seventh
of
grade
teacher that you
civics,
got.
right?
Yeah.
You know, I remember seventh grade civics. I remember my history teachers teaching us the things, you know, that now as an adult, I'm like, okay, wow, you know,
understand,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's why I understand the levels of government,
too.
you know, and how government functions. But I get it, you know, this is not intriguing to all students, right? I had subjects that I didn't care for. I had subjects that I didn't want to be a part of, or that I didn't like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall, though, I'm grateful that I know what I know, because again, I'm able to pour this information and knowledge into other people and get other people involved in the political process. Because think about this: if voter turnout is on average on a local level is between 20 to 27% turnout, all right? That means
at the midterms.
70. No. I'm talking about local elections. Midterms is pertaining to federal elections.
Oh,
But I'm talking about local elections. Like, so your local mayor and city council races, right? Those turnouts are usually between 20 to 27%. So if we were to get people more engaged in the process, and let's say we get this percentage up to 40%, all right? Now we're able to make some kind of real change in this, on a local level. Now we take this city by city, all right? Get people involved. Now they won't take just anything from the leaders, because we have 40% of the people who care about what's going on here, all right? So, but we have to make people aware of what's going on and really get them involved in the process.
And another difficulty, you got to remember why it's difficult for the local elections to have more push is because the funding, right? So federal funding is easier. That's why Denver is ahead of the game with the they got this thing where you can get funded by the public as a
Like crowdsourcing.
Yeah, you're right. That's a game changer, right? Because federally, they about to spend. Look at the last campaign, how much they did and raised and stuff on
I think
these campaigns.
Kamala
right?
Harris did 1.5 billion.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why they got a bigger name and more turnout. But the thing about it on a local level, if we organize more, right, then we could get a greater turnout. That's the only thing that can counter money, organizing, right? Like if you ain't organized, you ain't countering that cash, baby. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what we got to focus on there is just being able to get our guys locked in on how do we could create pushing those money policies of the public dollars, being able to fund public representatives that running for the public space.
Right.
You see what I'm
And-
saying?
and that
right.
only really
It's-
makes
because
sense.
money is what rule the people. Like
Yeah.
if I got $250,000 versus a $2,000 campaign, even though this $2,000 candidate is the man, he finna still get smoked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Oh,
the
them
dude-
corporate dollars.
just like Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, right? Like
Yeah.
just like Coca-Cola versus Fanta, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like the branding is what it is in a capitalistic system. That's why I speak of social equity and social capital.
Yeah.
To be able to expend it that way. Because if not, right, I don't care how good of a candidate is, that's where we come up short at most in our community. We be like, man, we got a good brother here.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we got a good sister
But
here.
he ain't got the bag
Got all the
behind
him.
credentials.
Yeah.
Right now, even with the credentials.
No, I said the bag behind
Oh, the
him.
bag, yeah. We We don't have that or the structure. We don't have the organization or the bag. White people got the bag and the structure.
Because it costs money to do everything in the campaign, right? You got to hire people.
But a lot of times they be having
business.
but a lot of times they be having a wink and a nod too, going into it with these same people.
Yeah. Well,
You ain't got
with
the network
donors.
connections that some of
With
these people
donors,
got. You know, we getting it out the mud generally 9 times out of 10. They was usually born into a
that's
situation
why-
where they know these people.
That's why we got to get more.
The network
people
is
involved,
different.
right? If we
Facts.
got more people involved,
What's the solution
the
to
guy
that?
with the I have
That's
a,
what we doing.
so I have a company that I started back in 2017 where candidates pay us to go out and knock on doors and make phone calls, right? So we actively go out to increase the voter turnout, right? You know, so that we can get more people to be involved in the process. But I think it starts with education. That's the first thing. I think one,
Facts.
you know, we have to really go on this education kind of like tour in a sense to be able to educate people. All right. One, then also I think for black people in particular, we got to get black people to come. We got to like sit black people down, and we got to organize, you know, so that we can actually yield the power. We have black people have a $1 trillion spending power every single year. All right, we spend $1 trillion in this country every single year, and only make up roughly 13% of the population. All right, that says a lot. So we need to convert this spending power into political power, right? You know, and that's how we can affect and really make some change, right? And Kanye had, you know, some great ideas when it came to like he was going to create a political party called the Birthday Party, right? I think we need something like that because if we, you know, as black people, we'll have a leg to stand on, right? We need to create our own party to say, well, if you want our vote, you need to listen to what we're saying, all right? And we'll give you this vote, you know, because we're not going to win them all, right? We can't do this without white folk either. So we got to be with them. But we have to show them that we have the power. So if white voters need us to vote for their candidate, okay, you need us. So these are our demands. This is what we want, all right? Sign this paper saying that if you get elected, you're going to do these things, all right? And then we'll give you the black vote with your votes.
And that's the thing. It's not uncommon in these other cultures and spaces. Like when you consider like the Jews, they give a list of demands.
Yeah, well,
they want certain to get for what is it that Jewish organization, the AIPAC or whatever.
Oh yeah.
ADL or something like that.
The ADL.
Anti-Defamation League.
Yeah. Them are the destroy.
They will put political pressure to make people bend and force them to do the things that they're asking for. And I feel like we need to be doing the same thing because we can't just keep giving our votes and then these people we giving our votes to then turn around and use, you know, they power that they supposed to be helping us with. Next thing you know, they helping out all these other people and trying to equate it to being the same struggle as us because, they're mentioning our name at the same table that they're mentioning these other groups of people. It's like, nah, don't try to tie us with that. That's why I be upset when and you know, it sounds stupid, but to me personally, it's like, I'm mad they took away the Negro word because that was our lineage and that directly tied us. So now when we come to the fight,
nationality.
Yeah, but also it sets the stage or the foundation to receive the benefits and the reparations. That's what I'm saying.
You got to have a nationality for that.
Yeah, they have nowhere to land it. Who's black? What is black? Dark skin, you know what I mean? But back when they was actually the legal term for descendants of slavery was the Negro, that was an identity that could be tied to the looming. And white people, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Okay, right there. We ain't forgot what y'all did to us. And the government sanctioned that. We coming for our reparations. That's a fact. Even if I got to get it this way.
I'm going to give you something deep. I'm going to give you something real deep, man. So 4 years ago, I was on the push when I became the president for Colorado Young Democrat. I came to push. So in order to just to give you a little information on how to get a bill on a national level, you got to get it to support of 224 of the representatives in that space, right? Like the House of Representatives to get that bill on the floor, right? They got to get a yay on that. And so we had the right, you know, as a Young Democrat movement, you know, we pushed that on a national level to be able to get reparations committee to the committee.
the HR1, what is it? HR
1254. I mean, it's multiple, right? It depends on
the one
which
that
one.
commissions
Because-
the study and
Yes,
the
sir. In
delivery
order
of
to
it.
get
Yeah.
to the commission, you
Yeah.
had to pass the committee. And in order to get to the committee, you had to get to the 224, right? So we did that. So we were writing and connecting with all the people. So it's a movement, bro. Like, it's here. Like, the main thing that's moved is under the nose because it doesn't have the money marketing. See, America is a capitalistic system as we go back to. So if you don't have the money to market what you do, not many people are going to know that you're doing it. So that's the game of politics too as well, right? And the involvement. So and the only way to counter that is organizing. So if a lot of people, let's give an example, that's the perk of the NAACP, the urban leagues, right? It's because they're organizations.
I feel like they've been compromised, me personally.
Brother, listen, no, wait. I never said nothing on the other side of it. I said that's the perks of them being organized, right?
okay.
Right? You're able to get your
That's a
message
fact.
out faster without having as much money to compete, right? You know what I'm saying? Give you an example. Them, what's the women's voters league? Women, what's that? Because them got some money. The Republican group.
League of Conservative Women. or
Yeah,
something
so
like
yeah,
that.
cause man, they got cake and they're organized. So you see them supporting a candidate, they're gonna win. They got like a 90% chance of winning, right?
And that's like the NRA too, right? They're
Oh, yeah,
such a
absolutely.
massive.
Yes.
What would
That's
you
what
even
we
call
gotta
them? Are they political
You
organizers?
NRA?
Or
So-
These
what,
are-
what,
so-
what are these groups called?
These
Oh,
are
what
so
we get to.
they're political
That's the
action
money.
committees. All right.
What are
So
they called?
They
there's
run the world.
Political action committees.
Okay.
All right. So you have so there's what we have C4 and C3. All right.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
a C3 is a nonprofit organization. All right. You can't do political work
Right.
with a nonprofit organization. All right. As a 501c3. All right. But so that's why you don't see the NAACP doing political stuff because they're a nonprofit, so they're not going to be political, all right? But you have a
That's the
501c4,
game.
all right? The 501c4. So what organizations do, right? So like the NAACP, they're 501. So their C3 is called NAACP, all right? Their 501c4 would be called NAACP Action Fund, all right? So that's what they can actually do their political work through
yeah.
through the actual action
Shadow
fund,
working,
all right? So the NRA, they do the same thing. So they have their nonprofit side of it, all right, which is the actual NRA. That's why they charge membership, you know, because to keep the nonprofit going. But they also have their action committee, their 501c4.
And that's what allows them to get into
That's
the
what they're-
politics.
Well, let's go
yeah.
deeper.
Okay.
Let's
Let's
go-
get deeper. Let's
go
get deeper.
right?
We got about
So-
5 minutes before the next
beautiful.
commercial break. Let's get into it.
And then so these are the groups that run the people that we get put into the office, right? So they play their role, right? So it's like a dark backhand, right? You got two hands, you got a left hand, you got a right hand. This right hand gets you into office, it can tell you what to do. Now there's the other person who can give you some money, PACs, who endorse you. These are our, you know what I'm saying? These are our, what do you call it when you're holding a hostage? You like, these are demands,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right.
Ransom.
Then you got dark money.
Ransom.
Now you don't know who gave all this money to this person that's trash. They got these horrible ideas, detrimental, tone to everything, to society construct. You're like, how this dude even get in office? Because these people want that disruption, but they don't want their brand hurt, right?
So they do it in the shadows.
So the dark money is the biggest, power in America. So you can say the world. Shoot, you can get capped by the CIA with that
yeah.
dark money
Yeah.
interest.
And with
You
a
know what I'm saying?
C4, you don't have to list who your donors are, all right? So with a C3, you have to list who your donors are, all right? But in a C4, you don't have to list.
Now,
who
is
your
a
donors
C4 a form you fill out and file your taxes with?
So
What's
it's
the C4?
Kinda
it's
like
the,
that, but
it's the
it's
status.
just
right? So again,
organization
it's the
style.
501. So it's like the
Oh,
status.
okay.
Yeah. So 501c4, 501c3. So when someone is a nonprofit, they're 501c3. But you are like a PAC or a dark money group, you're 501c4. Yeah. So churches
Shout out to 501c4s.
are 501c3s.
They getting that money.
Yeah. Churches are nonprofits.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you now, we gonna have to get on that too much, but that's how you launder that money too. Now, listen.
Yeah, I'm already knowing it,
Yeah.
and they talk about it. They openly laundering it.
Facts.
To be honest, I
Politics
just watched
and
that.
real estate.
Okay, so look, and we got to be quick with this because we
Yeah.
got a commercial break coming up. But I got a question, man. What what was y'all takeaways from this clown show of an election that we just kind of went through, like going into it? I mean, we seen some of the craziest stuff. The sitting president stepped down, this person come in, all the money flowing through, all the psyops. I mean, was it just me, or was this election different? This election cycle seemed a lot different.
Yeah, so,
Assassinations attempt. They brought back assassination attempts.
They brought it back.
So I played a huge role in this past election, all right? Especially in, again, places like in Arizona, in Phoenix in particular, and in Philly. I actually had 3 offices in Pennsylvania: Lancaster, Allentown, and Philadelphia. Philly. I think one, it was a power thing, because Joe Biden should have stepped down a long time ago.
Yes,
all right?
yeah, that's a fact.
And I think had he done that, and people had a longer time of being able to get to know. There's a few things that play in this, all right? So racism plays a huge part in this, all right? We can't forget that aspect. She was still a black woman, all right? Regardless, there's still a lot of men out here who just wasn't going to vote for a woman, let alone a black woman, all right? So we can go back
with an Indian mama, for the record. Go ahead.
Even go back to Hillary Clinton, right? Same thing. So it's not, it's really just a lot of sexism too, because of the fact that this is a woman. And there's a lot of misconceptions about, and then a lot of people, especially like black people, saw themselves in Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump, convicted felon, right? He's getting in trouble. He's, people trying to come after his life. So a lot of black folks.
Multiple baby mamas.
Yeah, exactly.
Multiple references in rap songs.
Yeah.
The only one that supported Tyson when he was going through his stuff. The only one that supported Michael Jackson when he was going through his stuff. Mm-hmm. The only one that supported Jackson's presidential campaign run in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Oprah said she would support him if he ran for president back in the 80s.
Yep, but then he ran and she was with Kamala.
No, he never ran until
now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She didn't support him. Yeah.
So I just think that, Kamala had a lot of issues too because of the misinformation that was out there, right? So let's think back in her time as as Attorney General in California, right? There's a saying, she locked up 15.
Yeah, all the black people for the weed, and then laughed about it on the Breakfast Club.
But those were lies, right? In total,
there's some truth to it too, to be honest.
In total, there was about 15 people that actually that were victim. It wasn't 15.
But let's expand that. So it is a fair criticism when you say, "Oh, okay, y'all locked up all these niggas for selling weed and smoking weed, just like y'all did with crack in the 90s." And then when fentanyl and prescription drugs hit home a little too close, what did they do? They started new laws to give them treatment instead of sending they black ass to jail.
Right there,
you feel me? Yeah, and not only that, what else did they do? What else did they do? They legalized weed if you got the money to get the licenses and the warehouses and all of that stuff to make $1 billion a year industry. Knowing black people can't afford that, not to mention you already done convicted them with felonies for doing the same thing that you are now profiting $1 billion a month for. With how many percent? Less than 10%? I can confidently say that's probably less than 5% black ownership in all of these dispensaries in the weed industry.
There's way less, And even myself, man, so a few years ago, I was looking to start, when they made weed delivery legal in Colorado, so I looked into creating a delivery company.
By the way, I do have one, Weedsies. I got 3 machines. If we would post it up anywhere.
Oh, weed vending machines? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I got some.
We're going into commercial, y'all. Stay tuned. Go ahead and give us that drop.
Yeah. So
No, not you, him. Weezy's.
Oh, yes. Shout out to Weezy's Mobile, baby. Listen.
Do it again.
Hey, shout out to Weezy's Mobile, man. Listen, if you ever trying to lock in on getting your delivery, or you want to just get that machine, that late night pickup, holla at Weezy's Mobile. WEEDSIES Mobile.
All right. So the this show is sponsored by the Fashion Gala. Soul Shifters is going down February 22nd at McNichols Civic Center. That's on February 22nd. Doors open at 5. You can look forward to a lot of good stuff. They have an exclusive fashion featuring Kenny Cass Flanagan. They also have VIP dinner options and live entertainment. So that's something that you don't want to miss. Again, McNichols Civic Center, 144 West Colfax Avenue, right here in Denver. February 22nd is going down.
All right. We back, y'all, man. Appreciate that. Today's sponsor is the Fashion Gala Soul Shifters coming up February 22nd, man. Appreciate that and the invite and everything that you got going on in the city. We will see you then. Yep. So, Silos.
Yeah.
I did not know that you were. I would have changed my questions had I know you're a big politic guru, because that's kind of one of my things too. Not so much. I like it for entertainment because it's so crazy now. But I wanted to ask you a couple of kind of general questions, right? Can you lighten it up and let the people know a little bit more about you? So, if you could instantly become an expert in any skill, what would it be and why?
Ooh, any skill. Dang. So I want to be a better golfer. I was on the golf team in high school, so I guess golfing is a skill. I want to be a better golfer. And why? A lot of deals are made on the golf course. A lot of rich people out on the golf course. So I want to,
Jump in there. What you doing?
I want to, better my golf skills.
Okay. That's an interesting answer. I like that. I'm gonna ask you too. If you could swap lives with any influencer for a day, who would it be and why? No, this is for Larry.
Who would I? First off the top, since I'm gonna just use my subconscious to answer this, I think his name I Show Speed, something like that.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because if I would had to answer, I would say Kai Cenat.
One of those two. Is one of those two.
Now, why? Let's talk about it.
Because two things, right? Influence is like potential energy compared to kinetic energy, right? Like you got the potential to materialize that into something real, right? And they have a lot of following, and that's influence, right? And influence, and that's something. And if I were able to switch them out, man, I'd be able to deliver some information to some people that will change the dynamics in the course of the world, I feel like, you know what I mean, because of that space that they're in.
Now, what would stop you from falling into the trap of corruption or becoming a puppet, a rubber stamp for the dollar?
Well, independence, man. Like, I get my own money.
Because these guys have changed.
Well, the thing about it is
I Show Speed, he's changed a lot.
Well, his agenda ain't our agenda. Also, he's a kid growing up into a man. So
what I'm saying is they go through these PR, and you guys know about PR training and stuff like that, to how to clean up your image.
For them, some of them do, right? I don't think Kai Cenat do as much.
He went through.
He has more independence.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
No, he does not.
The way
I just seen a report. I'm being honest. I just seen a report last week that he can't even talk to certain people.
I mean, well, that's part
because of the
game,
contracts
though.
that he has
that's
with the corporations, and he's micromanaged everything he does. He's not free anymore because now he got handlers.
Thing is, how you can't be free on nothing though if you put it that way. There's no, like, even if you got your own platform, like you still got regulations to, you know what I'm saying?
You got to think about it. Everything comes with a cost.
Yeah,
at a cost. Rather.
Facts.
So of course, if you're making a little bit more money, you have to give up a little bit more of your freedom, right? So that's really the big thing.
Well, I say this: you're not necessarily freedom. I feel like this with those people, yes, because they're public people, right? So their persona is what get them money, not the background ability. You see what I'm saying? So of course you're gonna have more restrictions on it if you're a visual moneymaker. If you do something like a skill to make money, like a construction company, like we have, you ain't finna put no restrictions on me because you can't, right? Because I make my own money. But simultaneously, if I try to do a public PR team, though, now I got restrictions, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they got more access. So you got to give up something to get something. Like,
Right.
that's just part of the game.
That's like that in anything.
But
You get a
I've never-
girlfriend, a wife,
Yeah,
you know,
right,
you don't
you know
get to
what I'm
just run out with the guys. I get that.
But
What
you
I'm
never
saying
had
is,
to give up
how do you
myself.
prevent your message from being hijacked?
But that's why you got to have the right PR teams. Give you an example. Los, if you were to hire Los, you think Los would just tell you not to, be who you are, what image you're trying to do? It just help you clean up the act. Like, because this presentation, if you trying to expand, you got to be able to bend. Like, there's just no way around it. Even me, I've been, and I'm the most radical person, but because it's the nature of communicating. Because everybody can't accept. Let me give you an example. If I cuss all the time on this mic, now I just lost the youth. Because most of their parents ain't gonna allow their access to point, without a lot of resentment, right? So it's just so many ways you have to do things if you want to keep a certain brand or you want to get a certain reach on certain type of people. But for me, like I say, it ain't really. I don't think nothing can change you. Like, people who change, they already had that in their mind. Like money don't change you into a new person. It changes you into the person you always want to be, right? Like. So in nature, I don't think people lose themselves through the dollar. They just become who they wanted to be. And for us, we've already experienced a lot of the stuff and experience. Most people in those spaces, even as Senator Warnock, right? Give him an example. He ain't been in politics. He don't have that type of experience that we have and they know about, even though he in that big spot, right?
I feel like he was. I don't know, but I feel like I did hear his name before he ran for senator as like this mega church pastor.
No, so
something
he's
like
the
that.
pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church in Georgia. So that's
But that's a political.
That's the church that Dr. King used to be the pastor of. So.
And they've taken political stances in the past.
I mean, most black churches gonna take political
Yeah,
stances.
they're not supposed to. They can get in trouble.
You hear
Really?
me?
Can
because-
they?
Oh, they-
because
hey,
they're 501c3.
How?
Yeah,
We seen Kamala Harris at the church.
Well,
we seen
here's the
Fannie
thing.
Willis at the church.
There's a very fine line, all right?
Come
So
on, man.
going
They
to-
was using the church as a political op
Well,
like crazy this
so-
year.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
no,
saying.
But here's the
I'm
thing.
just saying,
though,
y'all
right?
just
You
said
also have
that,
to
like,
meet voters where they are, okay? So,
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
you have to meet
Fine
voters where they
line.
are, all right? So churchgoers are the highest population of voters there
Facts.
are, all right? So
Oh,
you got to
okay.
meet voters where they are, all right?
Okay.
They vote in high numbers, so it makes all the sense in the world. Right now, I have candidates. I'm like, I got a list of all the churches they need to go
Got
to,
it.
right?
Church-
I
Because
got you.
you need to
Okay.
meet the
But the
voters
church
where they are.
itself can't be making
Endorse it.
political
Yeah,
statements
so
and
if you
stuff
want
like
to come
that.
and
Okay.
speak at the church,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but the
Okay.
church cannot necessarily
I got you.
Like,
endorse
this is the
you.
guy.
I got you.
I want
So
you
that
all
that's
to
how
Can't
they
tell
square
you
it.
to go
So
and vote for Kamala Harris.
yeah,
The church
okay.
can simply just tell you exercise your right to vote.
Right,
Okay.
And we
okay.
we're bringing this candidate for you to speak.
Yeah.
Got
But
you,
you
got
can
you.
choose.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
bringing this one to
Yeah.
speak.
So like I have one of my
They all
clients.
do it. That's the game.
One
That's
of my
my
clients
point.
was a surrogate for Kamala Harris. All right.
What does that
And-
mean? She carried her baby for her?
No. A political. So in politics, you have candidates have surrogates, right? Because a candidate can't be everywhere.
Right.
So they have people that go and speak on their behalf places. So one of my clients, the same client that's running for mayor, was actually a surrogate for Kamala Harris. So she was in Philadelphia. She had to go to a church in Allentown. I actually went to the church with her. The one thing the pastor was like, had the campaign reached out to us. They asked if someone could come and speak on behalf of Kamala Harris. Then the pastor said, the other candidate
Invited.
did not. We tried to find how to invite them. They didn't come. So that's how they clear themselves up.
Yes, you got
You
it. Yeah.
know,
Hey, need I remind you now, I'm deep here. So we did an event. I don't want to talk too long because we got to shake the spot, but like that's how you do it. Just collect those people in that room, man, and in that church.
Got you. Okay.
Just
So yeah,
invite
yeah,
both
you
sides,
meet
though,
you
so
meet the
you
voter where
can
they're
check
at, but also what I feel like what do you think the strategy or the way to kind of meet the youth where they're at, because they're so caught up in the social media, and not to
Influence.
mention
So
they don't know
the-
how to dissect information
Right.
and understand
So-
what's truth or
Right.
not.
So here we go.
So they
right?
could be manipulated through
so
social media.
Just like how people were saying, Kamala Harris brought Glorilla and Meg Thee Stallion on stage, right? Okay, that's exactly how you do it. You meet the young people where they are. They like Meg Thee Stallion, they like
For certain
Glorilla, all right?
markets, right.
So let's utilize those influencers to be of influence.
But
to
are
our
those
youth.
is that
No,
really
I
our
was gonna
black
say-
leaders
no,
though?
I was gonna
In
say that.
lane,
Well,
though, like
you
we can't
talk-
get nobody.
You're talking about
like,
the youth. Who are the youth?
I mean,
looking at?
but
you
we should
gotta-
be setting an example
Exactly.
using
Black people do that.
our black like our intelligent. I don't even know what the word is, but I feel like
Intellectuals.
intellectuals.
But I don't necessarily agree. all right?
Cardi B.
This is what I've been
When
fighting.
did she get?
my
When did she
guys
get the
on too
keys
right
to
here.
speak for the black people?
Here's the thing.
Oh, retarded bitch.
No, here's the thing. Cardi B is still a voter. Okay.
Doesn't matter. She's speaking for the black culture and the black community,
That's what-
saying nigga and carrying on that she's a surrogate. She acting like she a surrogate for the black
Right.
culture.
But that's
and
the
I
thing,
ain't
right?
okay with that.
The thing about black people, we're so minute and so, not many of us involved. Whenever one gets out there and say, I'm this, because black people is on the Republican side too, but you don't hear about it, right? Because we do one-sided things. Like if we are on this side and you do something on the other side, you convicted by our people. Like why would you do that? So, give an example. Who are the black? Give another thing back to social equity and social capital.
I got you. Talk to
Who are the people in our community that got the most social equity and social capital?
Probably
Black women.
entertainers.
Black women, highest voters. They're the highest voter turnout. So
That wasn't your question though.
Huh?
That wasn't your question. You said who has the highest
equity,
equity,
social
like money,
equity
right?
and social capital. No, social equity and social. So
Entertainers,
community,
entertainers,
community,
entertainers,
Black
entertainers.
women though.
Lil
Black,
Durk,
black
no, it
women
is
are.
not, it is not,
Bro,
it is not,
have
it
you
is
not
not.
seen voting? How many black men vote?
No, what I'm talking about.
No,
you said
wait,
influence.
we
You
got
said
to talk about
social
power.
currency.
No, we talk social equity and social capital comes from things that can translate into power.
I don't see the black women really moving the needle in
Bro,
the culture,
bro.
But you're talking. But
you
you're talking like
culture. We talk about
voting.
power. Yeah.
See, that's what I was just
like
gonna
we
say.
talking about real power,
I was
not
just gonna
ideal
s-
power.
That's what I was saying. Like the influencers and the one that's constantly thrown in our faces, not the black woman.
Yeah.
Well, it is the black woman. The black woman, the ratchet black woman shaking her pussy and selling
It
ass.
gets deep on that part too.
Sexy
But
red.
my main thing
Meg
is
Thee
this, though, my
Stallion.
guy. I don't want to get too, sided. It's just the nature of if you go to the black community and you're gonna ask for an opinion that'll move the community in the black, if it's only black people in the room, they're gonna go to the black man. But if you add a white person, you're a Chinese person, and everybody else, now it becomes the black woman. Because the outside, cultures respect her more than they'll do the black man.
I agree
And
with
so
that.
now that's how the power. That's why they put a Kamala Harris instead of a Senator Ward. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And also
To
too,
run.
I noticed all the people that had the balls to really go after Trump was all black women too.
Shoot,
Down in Georgia, down up in New York, you know what I'm saying? Like they were the black
because
woman.
they can't get castrated.
Yeah.
You don't got balls, you can't get castrated.
98% of black women turn out to vote.
Oh, okay.
They eating, bro. If you don't
Okay.
talk to the black women when you trying to vote, why you think the white Republicans talk to black women? Like
Okay.
everybody, because if I
See,
disable
that's
some of
crazy.
yours,
I didn't know that. So the black woman is really where our voting power really lies.
bruh, like
Yeah, remember, I just told you I have a
like
whole,
a
I
mug,
have a
bro.
whole
That's
county.
the power, bro.
I have a whole county full of black women judges. Why? Because black women are voting for them.
You can't listen. I don't care how popular you are in the hood. If the black women don't like you, you're not gonna get in that office as a black person. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just how it is. So if you don't cater to it, right? So now you got to do a Meg Thee Stallion, even though she a bad representation.
Right. But also, we got to learn how and work with the black women to learn how to leverage our power,
We
our
do.
dollar,
We do.
and
We do.
our vote
We do.
to go ahead and get the. Because I'm
Black
tired.
man
Me personally,
egotistical,
I'm
bro.
tired. And me, I can speak. We wrapping it up in 5 minutes, y'all. Thank you for tuning in, y'all. I see you. But I honestly, I feel like that's why, especially like a lot of black men in this past election kind of went a different way
They
because
balked?
they just got tired of the same old same.
You got. Well, let me say this. This another thing they did. That's a smear campaign for the future of black voting. Black men only went down 1.8% of their voting from 2020 election. Black women went down 4%.
Black women went down more than black men?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Now, we ain't talking about the totality. We talking about the leverage difference of voter turnout.
Okay.
Look at the numbers. Look at the percentile of them voting. Because, this is what I look at, those micro numbers on that. And that tells you a lot. But I'm going to say they still have the highest vote turnout for Kamala, right? So nobody else were anywhere close to women, right? The black women to the turnout. I don't want to make make it seem as if that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the amount of women percentage based on the ones that are registered to vote, 5%, 4 to 5% less than them showed up for Kamala than they did for Joe Biden in 2020.
Okay.
But once again, he fell out the race so late. You don't got enough time
And
to
honestly,
market her.
and that was they obviously didn't have a strategist like y'all, because y'all would have told his old ass to get on. You don't have the approval numbers. You don't have the support. You're a walking joke. Everywhere you go, you're falling asleep. You're falling upstairs, which I didn't know was possible.
That was crazy work. There.
You know what I mean? You fell off a bike. I ain't never seen a president fall off a bike. Like, come on, baby. And what you did was you kind of handicapped your party and didn't put them in a position. But here's the thing too: if they would have ran a primary, I don't know if Harris make it. I don't know if she would.
She would have.
You think she would have? And here's the other thing too, just to land my plane, and I'll give y'all a chance to talk. What I was saying, the other thing that I think with the shoe dropping was that big old pile of money that was only attached to two names, Biden or Harris. So if they do a primary, they're risking this war treasure.
But the thing about it is, listen, seniority in organizations trump anything. All the outside noise. Once again, that's where social equity and social capital come from. Being in those establishments. I hate being in establishments, but being in those establishments acquire you to get their access points, right? And all these progressives ain't a part of those moderates. So throwing these other people in, what other moderate we're gonna trump her moderacy? Like, what other candidate that you can think of that's a moderate? Maybe Pete Buttigieg, but I don't think they're ready for him yet.
I think,
you know what I'm saying?
I think I worked in 2020. I worked for this billionaire named Tom Steyer. All right, Tom Steyer, man, was the best candidate for America.
Facts.
Okay?
He was though.
Tom Steyer,
him too.
like, had a black. This white man had a whole black agenda. All right, his campaign had how ways that he believed in black people, how he want to help black folks, but he just wasn't. It was 2020.
Yeah,
all
wrong
wanted
time.
Joe Biden,
Yeah.
So and he self-funded his campaign. I remember, man, when I went to Vegas to work for him, they put me up at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Yeah.
That was another one that was a big time money spender too, though.
Bloomberg.
Bloomberg, yeah.
But Bloomberg is
Mike Bloomberg.
Bloomberg is not. He's not. Yeah.
That was for advertising.
Bloomberg, what Bloomberg did in 2020, he used black people. He paid black people top dollar to run his campaign. So, like, the state director for his campaign in Alabama was making $40,000 a month. All right, from Bloomberg. All right, and I know her because I used to work for her company when I first got started, like 15 years ago.
Door knockers was making like 8 racks.
Yeah, for Bloomberg. Yeah. But Tom Steyer, man, I think I'm trying to push.
I think I heard of him.
He was the guy.
I'm trying to push him to like run for president again because he is the person that I think can really look out for black folks. And as this white man,
right. As much as you can as a white man.
As much as you can as a white man. Yeah.
Because it's difficult, man. That social equity, social capital can't cross over the same way.
And it wasn't developed the same way.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Their ancestors wasn't hung from trees and let dogs chew on them for fun.
I gave a TED talk on equity and inclusion. It wasn't
I watched
about.
it.
I didn't, and I was very intentional.
I think you
right?
made us watch it for a class.
I think so. Yeah. It wasn't.
Shout out to that
I was
class.
going to say, shout that out, though.
Shout out to that TED talk, man.
Professor.
Where can we find that TED talk, man? Because it's a good one. Y'all need to tune in.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed
I'm gonna put it on YouTube, man. So I got into it with some white people here in Colorado, and they found out I gave a TED talk, and they went to the school and protested me, and so Ted took my talk down. Ted took my talk down, so it's not up, but I got the video. so I'm gonna put it on. I just put it on my Facebook a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
I
gonna
did
put
not
it
know
on
they took it
YouTube.
down.
Yep.
So that's recent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. White people in their power, right?
Yeah.
But in the talk though, we talked about that. I really broke it down. From the power structures, right? And I talked about how black home ownership, how this black family was trying to sell their home, and they got it appraised for $450,000, and then they was like that couldn't be right, so they had this white family to come in and whitewash their home and stage the home as if it was theirs. Same house, right? This white family got that house appraised at $780,000, right?
Almost double.
Yeah, almost double the amount that this black family, had their home for appraised for. It's the same house.
Mm-hmm.
So that speak to.
I think that made the news, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. That was a pretty big.
That
thing.
was the Channel 9 News, I think, covered that.
So all of the things, these are issues that even talked about the 40 acres and a mule story, and how, because a lot of people have it wrong. They think that we were promised 40 acres and a mule. No, we were given 40 acres and a mule.
It just never got signed because Lincoln was assassinated.
No, it got signed.
It didn't never get signed by Lincoln. It was like in principle.
No, it will.
From the general. The general wrote this order out.
It was Order 15. All right, it was signed. Order 15 did get signed, but when Lincoln died,
Andrew Jackson came and gave it all back to the white people. I know.
He reversed the order.
He
So
gave
order
all the
was
land
in
back
place.
to the white people.
Yep.
The slave owners.
Yeah.
And then the black people, the former slaves, then had to go back and get a job doing the same slavery, but this time they got work hours.
Yeah,
they get
but
paid a quarter a day.
Some black people though, so like in Alabama, right outside of Mobile, there's this town called Africa Town. All right. So when they were freed, these black folks left the plantations and went and settled on this actual land.
Mm-hmm.
And Africa Town now is very run down. There's a whole stories about it now. But those ancestors, so right now they're in a fight with the same family that enslaved the black people then. They're still fighting with that family now because that family is trying to come and take that land today.
See, I don't like it. And we need to do something about it because there ain't no reason black home ownership shouldn't be one of the highest percentages in the land out of all these people. You got immigrants coming over here with no paperwork getting approved for housing and different kind of loans, and I ain't okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a really entertaining and informative show. I really appreciate you opening up. That obviously, that's not the direction we were talking about going. But, this is what happens when you have a live show. You get to see the raw, people talking, the raw conversations, and you get to see it in an unfiltered way. And that's what I really appreciate about Colorado City Studios. And, let's end with a good note. I really want to ask Larry too, but if he come back, cool. If not, cool. What does a typical day look like for you? Starting with like breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, what's a typical day for Carlos?
So I give you 2 days out the week because I teach Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I have Mondays, Fridays free. So Monday, I wake up, get myself together, and I just start working. I pull my computer out because I have so much work, man.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much. There's
starting at what, like 6, 5, 8?
No, I used to start that early. I start about a 9 o'clock now. I give because I have a son and everything, so I try to, spend some time with him when I'm at home before I really get going. But then now, so his nanny comes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So when I'm off, I have him on Mondays and Fridays when I'm at home with him.
Mm.
So I'm taking meetings because I have to fit all my meetings in on a Monday and Friday. Because I manage talent, so I have like 10, almost a dozen clients that I manage on top of my political clients. So I try to schedule all my meetings on Mondays and Fridays. So I just do meetings and design websites and all that. But so my days could be pretty. To me, they're fun because I'm doing what I enjoy doing. But they're just typical day. I used to play golf. I used to get up some days and go and play golf. I don't get a chance to do that now. But Tuesday, I get up, get ready to go to class, teach 4 hours, go home, take some more meetings when I'm at home for those few hours, then go back to teach at night, and that's it. So it's just and I like routines, and I like so I try to do the exact same thing every day.
Eat dinner at the same time?
No, I used to cook, man. I like to cook. Cooking is one of my pastimes. I really enjoy cooking. But since having a son, I don't really get a chance to like cook as often. But by the time because I finished teaching at 9:30 at night, so by the time
it's a little late for dinner.
Yeah, I'm
Go
tired.
home and cook.
But I do a lot of Costco stuff, so I like buy some meals and stuff from Costco. So I have they have this fried rice that I like, so I'll just like go and put the fried rice in the microwave for 3 minutes and that's dinner. Or I go to like Bird Call some nights or Chipotle because Chipotle.
I like Chipotle. Yeah, I might get Chipotle today. Hey, shout out to Chipotle, y'all. We eating good in the neighborhood around here. Well, anything else? Any last words? Anything you left on the table, man? Shout out where we can find you and leave us with a positive message, man. Give us some marching orders.
Yeah. So my social media, you can find me. It's my name, Carlos Chaverist Jr. Last name is spelled Chaverst. And I use my name for everything because Jay-Z said I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. I look at myself as the actual business. That's kind of how I like to move. Positive message. I think there's a lot of uncertainty around the world right now, and I don't think this is a time for us to really be afraid or to be unsure. I think we need to all be firm in who we are, be firm in what we know, and try to come together as a unit to be able to fight these systems any way we need to, So I just want like black people to know the power that we hold and to really start less talking, more doing, and I'm doing my thing. Like on Monday, we're getting ready to launch this, I'm from Birmingham, so I just put together this website, BirminghamBlackBusinesses.com, where it's a directory of you can find any kind of black business in Birmingham. I also started this thing, a Black Business Passport. So starting Monday, there's 8 businesses that people in Birmingham will be able to go and visit. If you get, and I got stamps made for these companies and everything. If you get the stamp at every business, you'll enter to win a prize. But we're trying to do a few things, right? We're trying to push people to support black businesses while also encouraging people to, do fun things, right? Like this is something fun. You can go and get the stamp, and then, and shop. So, but I want to take this and expand it to a lot more areas, right? So I use Birmingham as the location to try things to see how well it works.
Testing ground.
We can go and do this place in other places. But I do believe in us holding the power, man. I just want black people to realize who we are and really get the power and have the power that we're supposed to have.
And where's that place? Where can they find that? Is that on Instagram, Facebook, or is that just an actual local Alabama thing?
It's just an Alabama thing, yeah. It's these are businesses in Birmingham.
So you went to each one of these businesses and got participating, like businesses to participate.
We got the 8 businesses to participate for the passport. I have someone to drop the stamps off to them. I had stamps made at Office Depot, so when people go, and then we're going to give the businesses copies of the passports to encourage them, to also encourage these. So just because someone come to your business, tell them about the other businesses that are here. Okay. So say, hey, tell your customers if you go to these other 7 businesses and get your stamp, you'll win a 55-inch TV. You can enter to win a 55-inch TV. So that's kind of what we're doing.
That's dope. I really think that's that's putting your words to it. Just not talking but actually doing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I feel like your biggest takeaway message was in this interview is you got to do more. We got to do more. We got to put these words into action, and then these actions into influence.
Mm-hmm.
This influence into conversion.
Mm-hmm.
And then, consolidate, organize, and strike.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I appreciate you, man, for coming on.
Appreciate you for having me.
You're always welcome here. You know that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Carlos, everybody. Thank you again, brother.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Okay, everybody, man. Slime Ball Streetwear for life. Everybody, if you are looking for the latest streetwear and the latest fashion, you can always tap in at Slime Ball 4L Streetwear. Go check them out. They mail, deliver, and they have pop-up shops locations. You can find out all about it. Go hit that IG like and tap in, tune in, and follow. This has been another episode of the Colorado City live stream. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Peace.